Check it on his stick.
And what happens if a car comes?
You die.
What?
Just relax. Just trust. You need to learn how to trust.
Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
I don't know.
Sure you do.
The tempo?
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
Oh. Okay, well, I accidentally cut that short by like 2 seconds, but it's too late to go back now. Well, Maggie was spitting out something about Empire Magazine and Jurassic World because she cares about those movies, even though the last one was horrible. we got hot takes here. I did not like Fallen Kingdom. I think it's easily the worst Jurassic Park movie.
You're the worst Jurassic Park movie.
And she, for some reason, really likes it. So, well, the last bit wasn't the wedding singer. After the wedding singer is one more thing, and then that was the end, and I accidentally clicked it over too fast. Doesn't matter. Welcome in, everybody. Nacho, Olog, D-Pad, how are you doing? D-Pad, I did tell her, she messaged me today while I'm at work. She's like, oh, I took like 2 Harry Potter quizzes, and I'm in Gryffindor or Hufflepuff. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I was like, I guarantee you, D-Pad already knows what his Hogwarts house would be. And I was right. Of course I was right.
I think when I was guessing last night, I said I thought that I would be in Gryffindor. But I took one that said Gryffindor, and I took one that said Hufflepuff.
You know what? Yeah. So, I mean, we'll talk way more about Harry Potter next week when D-Pad joins us to talk about Harry Potter and the new stuff and everything. I showed her that you said she's Hufflepuff. I feel like I said that.
Yeah.
I think when you asked me, I was like, you would probably be that one.
And then I said...
Although I know, like, very, very little about Harry Potter to begin with, so...
I said you're Slytherin.
Yeah. Anyway, that's next week. Harry Potter and all the Harry Potter stuff's next week, which we've been watching all of the movies. I've literally got it laid down in a formula of what day we're watching them, what days we have to watch at least 2 of them in a row.
Because I haven't seen none of them.
There's 4 houses, Olog. She hasn't seen them, but she knows little itsy bits, whatever. We finished the 3rd one last night. Tonight's the 4th one. Tomorrow or Sunday, we're going to have to double up. Wait, no. That's not right. Tonight's the 4th one. Tomorrow's the 5th one. Sunday's the 6th one. 7th and 8th are on Monday. Then the Fantastic Beasts 1, Fantastic Beasts 2, and then the new one on Thursday next week. Something like that. Whatever.
You're driving this car.
It's all planned out. We got it all figured out. I've got it all figured out. A lot of movies to watch. Anyway, But that's not what we're here to talk about. That's next week where we're going to have Deepad, the expert on all Harry Potter things here. Today we're talking about Sonic movies, which we got some Sonic stuff going on here. We got a little, like, Sonic Tails toy thing that rolls across. We picked up these last night at the movie. There's a nice little, like a full-on comic book, which is pretty cool. And then this actually really badass poster that I wish they would have like used in marketing in some way, because this thing is
really
awesome.
cool.
This is like a sick ass poster.
In retrospect, I probably should have gotten one.
In comparison to the other ones, you probably should have got. We could have doubled up on them, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so the Sonic movie, the first one came out in 2020, I believe, so about 2 years ago. Because that was the last. I feel like that was the last movie I watched in theaters before all the lockdowns happened. I'm confident. You went and saw something else.
Yeah, I was not interested at all.
Yeah, she wasn't interested at all. I figured I'd give it a chance. I don't buy into the like weird conspiracy theories that the first trailer and all the previous marketing for the first Sonic movie was all literally just marketing. Like they purposely made it look bad to drum up like word of mouth and stuff, and then released how it actually looked. I don't buy into that stuff. I do think that
because of the way that the first
I feel
thing looked.
like most things, they wanted to put their own spin on it and make it a little bit different and unique, and then they're like, and then everybody's like, holy shit, that looks terrible. Because I remember for months seeing the original poster in movie theaters where he was like sitting on top of
the
the
little
Golden Gate
legs
Bridge,
dangling off.
and there was like a shadow and stuff, and the shadow just looked wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
But then we saw a picture of his face, and he had like people teeth, and it was weird.
I don't think they would have gone that far. That's another one. Insert coin people, Evil Ash, Fuzzy, they all think that it was fake. It was like a marketing ploy or something, whatever. I mean, technically it worked as like good marketing once they released the actual trailer, and people were like, oh my god, they listened.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, go see the movie, just like
I like
that.
the people teeth. I did not.
But I went to see the movie because I thought the movie was gonna like, I don't expect anything from video game movies, but I was like, you know what? They actually like made Sonic look decent. The movie looks like whatever, and then I was pretty surprised by the movie. Like it didn't blow me away. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5, which is like a 6 out of 10. Like it's pretty decent. And I convinced her Wednesday night to watch the first one. I said, look, first off, I think you'll actually like the movie. And then second, we're seeing the new one anyway, so you might as well watch the first one so you can know what the hell's going on.
I think my big thing was I loved playing Sonic on my Sega Genesis when I was a kid. Like, I loved Sonic so much, and I loved the cartoon when it came out. And I used to love watching that on Saturday mornings. It was, like, my favorite. And I still I've hummed the theme song, like, so many times. But when I first saw that they were coming out with the movie, I just thought that it looked so hokey. I was like, it's just going to be dumb. It's going to be geared towards kids. It's not going to be entertaining at all. So I don't know what it was that I went to see.
I don't know what
Maybe I saw, like, Glass.
It almost certainly
Probably
Quiet
a Quiet
Place
Place 2. Yeah.
No. The first Quiet Place? Not Quiet Place 2, obviously. I don't know what you would have gone and saw. Or I just literally went alone and you just stayed home and did something. Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. I just remember seeing it and then being kind of surprised by it.
You finally convinced me.
There was really no convincing. I was going to watch it anyway, so... You only have 2 TVs. You can watch your shitty TV shows in there, or you can watch a movie. So that's your choice. I will say I really do like... first off, Ben Schwartz as Sonic, I think does a great job. I just love Ben Schwartz. I think he's great in everything. All the time, we'll quote from Parks and Recreation, John Ralphio, like, that is the worst.
John Ralphio's character and his sister were the best.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Oh, don't be suspicious.
So that's always great. Everything with him's great. And then Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik was just like, I said this last night. I feel like it's probably the first performance in a long time where I think Jim Carrey was just told, like, have fun with it. Just be your old like rubber faced self from
Yeah.
Living Colors and Living Color and all that back in the day.
Let your
And
imagination run wild.
he just literally runs with it, and it works so well.
It's one of those things that it's like, I mean, you look at characters like Robert Downey Jr. and some other people, and you're like, oh yeah, they were born to play that character. I feel like Jim Carrey was literally so perfect for this cartoonish character. And I mentioned it when we were driving home last night, that he's got to be the dream to work with as far as a digital or CGI aspect, because a lot of actors will say that working with CGI can be so difficult. They're like, stare at this tennis ball, pretend that it's a dragon and whatever. And then Jim Carrey just has such a huge imagination that he probably makes everyone's job so easy. That he's like, imagine I'm in a huge robot, easy
Yeah.
peasy.
And then you've got James Marsden as well in there as Donut Lord, or Tom Wachowski,
Mike
whatever,
Myers
the local
exactly was
sheriff.
like that too.
Him and Mike Myers, yeah, definitely. And a couple other like small side sort of characters who kind of fill out the world, which is funnily enough, the town's called Green Hills because, haha, the Green Hill Zone from Sonic, teehee. I enjoyed the first movie, and then I did like that the after credits scene had Tails show up, and I was like, whoa, okay, so they're planning the second one, and they brought in Tails, and Tails looked great too. Fast forward 2 years, here we are. Sonic 2 has come out, and I feel like they had way more fun with this movie.
Oh, for sure.
I think they
sure.
kind of figured it out, and they got relatively positive feedback from people who went and saw the movies. Like it wasn't a terrible movie. It wasn't like the most amazing
It wasn't a
movie.
block. It didn't win an Oscar.
But it was a fun movie, and they just literally went, let's have more fun.
Yeah.
And this movie is filled with so many more like pop culture. I said this last night when we were talking after we saw it, that I feel like they maybe gave Ben Schwartz like a little bit more room to
freedom.
to be just like be himself. There's so many pop culture references to movies and other things. There is, and I kind of it's not really a spoiler. It's like a line of dialogue in the movie, but I referenced it in the stream title. I put Eggman is the worst because Jean-Ralphio. Literally, Ben Schwartz does the worst thing as Sonic in the movie, talking about something else.
When he did that, we were both sitting in our seats and we both went,
It was
he did it! He did it!
I love the reference.
It was so great.
It was so good. Just to seeing Sonic just do a Jean-Ralphio worst is great. And it instantly made the movie better than the first one.
It made me think about him, like, screening it for like him sitting in his seat, watching it for the first time, seeing... I just imagine him in his seat, like in his fancy suit with all these people screening the movie, and that happening, seeing Sonic the Hedgehog do his Jean-Ralphio line. He was probably so giddy.
It was very loud because I didn't turn down the thing. I wasn't ready I forgot to turn down the audio for that part. I just I don't know. Again, it felt like he had way more fun, and then I think Jim Carrey similarly was just. He figured out the character last movie. He just kept with it. He was still great. Idris Elba coming in as Knuckles. And then Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Tails. Both great. Both fantastic. Idris Elba, I think, more so as Knuckles, was just... they did a great job of portraying him as, like, this really tough, threatening guy. And then making him, like... just really dense,
really clueless,
really clueless about things, because obviously he hasn't been to Earth. He doesn't know all these like weird things that Sonic is saying or whatever.
I related him to Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. He doesn't really seem to understand the concept of sarcasm or jokes. Things kind of like he takes everything very literal.
Yeah,
which is just so funny.
which really worked. And again, it was like a progression thing. Like
Yes.
you slowly realize that, like, yeah, Idris Elba is great. I love Idris Elba in most things.
So good.
Yeah, and then you have in the second one, James Marsden comes back. His wife comes back. The sister-in-law comes back, and the sister-in-law in the first movie was a funny bit where they go to her house and they end up tying her up because she really hates James Marsden's character and doesn't want her sister to be with him and wants divorce and makes all these like dumb jokes, and they tie her to a chair. This one, she's getting married. And there's a whole 10-15 minute segment about like the wedding and crazy shit happening, and there's some just like really funny bits that come from that with that side character who's played by Natasha Rothwell. It's great. It works really well.
Which is really good.
A lot of returning. I mean, there wasn't like a massive cast from the first movie, but basically every side character returned except for the crazy guy. The crazy guy wasn't in it
Yeah,
from
he
the first
wasn't,
movie.
yeah.
It was like, it's the Blue Devil. I'm not so crazy now. And then
They
he
should
just
have put him in
he had
the
a
second
chainsaw
one.
for no reason.
Hey man, can you not point that at me?
Put the chainsaw down.
Yeah, they should have put him in there.
So I feel like, again, I think they just literally took. Again, the movie's not going to like blow anyone's minds or anything, but I think they took what worked well in the first movie and just took it a step further. It was more enjoyable. There's one section that we both agree is probably like the worst part of the movie. It's maybe about halfway through the movie. First off, the movie's just barely over 2 hours. It has an mid-credit scene, which is after their like stylized credits. Then it has an a stinger at the end, which similar to the one with Tails, I think it got people in the theater hyped. There was definitely a group of like 20, 30-year-old dudes in the theater on the other side from us that like cheered at the end credits thing.
That was funny.
Which
They're
I
clapping.
I was kind of excited to see it. Like I get excited, anytime you know the reference or know something that comes and it's at the end credit scene, you might be like, "Oh, cool!" Kind of gets you a little excited for the next one. It felt kind of obvious that that's where they would go with the end credits thing, but again, hearing a group of maybe like 4 grown men actually cheer at the Sonic movie,
You would have thought it was. You would have thought it was a Marvel
was pretty
movie
funny.
credit scene. The way that they reacted to it,
Yeah.
they were fucking pumped.
Yeah, they were really excited about this after credits
They
scene,
were
which was so funny. But yeah, this middle segment of the movie, this middle like one specific scene's maybe, I don't know, it's maybe like 20 minutes or something in total, like start to end, that you could cut down to maybe 10 minutes, maybe even only 5 minutes. There's a part that I think they kind of twist expectations a little bit to try and not seem too samey to the first movie, which I like and kind of got a little like cheap little laugh out of me when it first started. But then it kind of just goes, and it's like, okay, we get the point. Just move on. Come on now. Again, I think there's a lot of fun things that people who are fans of the games are really going to like. I feel like from, I don't know, let's say like Sonic Adventures or something, that there's like moves that Sonic and Tails do together that maybe you've seen in like the animated show, or maybe in, again, like Sonic Adventure games or something, where they do like attack moves. Or there's definitely more things that remind you, or reminded me specifically of like the Sonic games, with the way that certain action scenes were kind of shot and handled and stuff. A lot of fun stuff in this. They introduced, and this is all stuff that you see in the trailer, they introduced the Chaos Emeralds in this movie, which is a pretty big, again, they're really just like leaning into the stuff with Sonic, what they know about Sonic, and I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Jim Carrey's a lot of fun in it. There's a good gag in there with Agent Stone, or just Stone, the henchman to Robotnik.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, they kind of peek through the window and see something, and it's hilarious. They've already said that if Jim Carrey, Keith, how are you doing? That if Jim Carrey retires from acting, they will not replace him. They will not cast anybody else as Dr. Eggman.
Yeah.
They've already came out and said that. They said that they don't think that there'd be anybody who could possibly do
could
it,
replace
so they're
him.
not even going to try. So if whatever they do moving forward would have to be, I don't know, whatever, a unique villain or whatever other villains Sonic has ever
Maybe
faced
some sort
that
of
were
spin-off story.
the big fat purple cat could be the bad guy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know Sonic enough. Like, I've played those little what were those things in Sonic Adventure? The little ugly blue onion-headed things that you had to raise. Those could be the bad guys. Just make them like give people cancer or something, and Sonic has to fix it.
Jesus Christ.
He's got to go faster than he's ever gone before and stop the cancer from spreading.
Rated R.
I don't know. He's going mental for the secret operate. Yeah. Oh no, I know. You said that in the post. Yeah. That's what we just said. I don't know if you heard that part. There were definitely like 20-something-year-olds or maybe 30-year-olds in the theater who, during the mid-credits scene, started to cheer. Literally, we're waiting, we're just watching it, and then all of a sudden you hear from the other side, yeah! They were so excited. It was funny. I don't know. What do you think? I'm done talking. Your turn.
I remember when you were talking about, like, oh, we saw that the new one was coming out, and you're like, well, you know, we should see the first one again. And every single time that you mentioned watching the first one again, literally every time I went, ugh, okay, I guess I'll watch it. And then you were like, you kept saying, I think you're really gonna enjoy it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to. And it was so funny because it's one of those things that you're watching the movie, but you can feel the person next to you watching you watch the movie. There were a couple of scenes where I could tell you were like,
Every time there was something I knew that she would enjoy, I looked over to catch her either smile or laugh or whatever. And then she'd look at me and be like, I'm not enjoying this. And I'm like, uh-huh.
You didn't see nothing.
Uh-huh.
But I remember the movie ended, the first one, when we watched it, it ended, and we got up, and I was like, okay, I guess the movie was all right. and then when the second one, we watched the second one, I had so much fun with it. And there were, you know, a couple of things that were a little bit hokey, but it was so funny because there was one scene where something really cute happened.
Oh, I agree, Nacho. I do that too. Anytime in horror movies, she's got a thing about eyeballs, clowns, and then anytime there's some sort of like sexy time going on screens, I always know she's going to cover her face or look away or react a certain way. So if I know it's coming, I'll look. Or if it just pops up, if it's like a new, like, I didn't remember this happening, but in Harry Potter in the Prisoner of Azkaban last night, during a Defense Against the Dark Arts scene, a girl turns a thing into a Jack-in-the-Box, and she hates clown.
God.
So she was just like, oh my god, that person thinks that's funny?
That
That's
was
terrifying.
horrifying.
I was like-
That was a nightmare fuel. She turned something into a big clown Jack-in-the-Box. It was just like waving into the camera, and I was like leaning into the couch like, what the fuck? This is a kid's movie?
Yeah. So
I'm happy I slept last night.
I get that a lot.
So anyway. Yeah, I did not like that. Did not care for that part of the movie. Are there any more clowns in the movie?
I don't think so.
That's not a no.
I've already told you. I feel like most of these movies I've only ever seen once or twice.
Well, anyway, there was one scene that was really, really cute, and it was so funny because it kind of like in the
first movie or second movie?
second movie. Well, there was one in the first movie that was cute, but in the second movie there was a really, really adorable scene, and it's so funny because when something scary in a horror movie happens, that's a clown or an eyeball, I'll like jump like it's terrifying. But when something really adorable happens in a movie that's unexpected, I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And there was a moment in the second movie, and I remember you turning and looking at me, and I was like, oh, my heart. Oh, it's so cute. But I definitely agree that the second movie, they had so much more fun with it. And I got the impression that there was more not like adult jokes, like rated R jokes, but there were more things that as an adult watching it, you're able to appreciate
References.
it. Yeah, references that you're able to appreciate. And, you know, they're like, what was it Jim Carrey said at one point? He was like, what in the shiitake mushrooms? Or like, I'm gonna get off the shiitake planet. Like, or, you know, they're getting a little bit more liberated by the way, you know, the things that they're saying and everything. But Jim Carrey was amazing. It's a little weird for me to see James Marsden kind of be in like almost like a fatherly-ish role, because I'm used in my generation to him being like the hot 19, 18-year-old that I was watching on a TV show back when I was when I was younger. So it's like, oh, he's all grown up.
That's so weird.
It's weird. And people that like were hot
quite
when we were
literally
young.
only know him from movies.
I saw him in something when he was really young, and it's weird. Like you're seeing like characters now they're playing daddish kind of roles and older people roles and all that. I know it's not the OC.
Ally
But-
McBeal? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know, but anyway, he was really good in it, and I watching it, especially the cartoon when I was a kid. Tails was always my favorite. He was my favorite character, and it was really cool to see his little character development and see, you know, relationships being made, and you know you did kind of get a sense from the first movie that Sonic is a little bit alone, and it's nice that they were able to introduce some of these new characters to. Right.
Keith, you are old.
It's nice to see these characters that he gets to kind of have a different relationship with, and yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, and I think the credit scene I don't really remember or understand, but
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to you.
yeah, that my ship sailed at
Yeah.
that point. I was Sega Genesis Sonic, and then after that, nothing. But yeah, anyway, I loved it. I would give it,
Oh, right into the ratings.
I would give it
2 weeks. Oof.
40 nothing.
You cry about being old all the time.
I do.
You're not as old as Keith or Olog, so you're okay.
I'm almost there.
Or Ash, or all of them.
I'm
They're
halfway
all,
there
they're
this
all
y-
like 40 something.
I've got a couple months, and then I'm officially halfway there.
Oh no.
I'm a cougar. I'm right here. I don't know. I can wait on a rating.
I don't know if you have anything more to say.
I don't think so. I do say that the sister, they gave her so much
Rachel.
more. Rachel, they gave her so much more room as a character in the movie this time. I think that they saw a lot of people thought she was such good comedic relief in the first one that they decided to give her a little bit more room to stretch her wings, and it was fantastic. You ended up going to the restroom at one point, and
Oh yeah.
and there was a scene with her, and it was
Yeah, I apparently
Hilarious.
missed a really funny scene.
yeah, it was hilarious.
Because as soon as I got back, she had to lean over and tell me.
Yeah, but yeah, it was really good. I liked her a lot. I liked her character. They could have put her in there more, I feel like. pretty
I
cool.
don't think she needed to be in there more.
I liked her. They could have put her in there at the end. One more
Maybe.
thing.
I
Just
don't
one more. Just one more.
Oh, maybe at like the very end of the movie where they're all together. Maybe that would have possibly you could have got another joke or two out of it.
I also love that they kept the golden retriever in the movie. I forget what his name is.
I do not know.
But
The
yeah.
dog.
Yeah, the dog that was in the first one, and in the first movie, the end credits they do kind of like a, how do you describe that little animation that they do with the end credit or the.
It's like
like-
16-bit animation.
Yeah, they did that again with the second movie, and there was one point where they had the little 6-bit golden retriever like in there where he was like jumping a skateboard over it. It was really cute. I like that dog. He's a good actor.
Yeah, the dog's a great actor. Just had to sit there with like sunglasses on, and look like a dog, look like a good boy.
He was a good boy.
That good boy's asleep. That cat's asleep too.
Everyone's
They're all asleep. What'd you think of Knuckles?
Loved Knuckles. Loved him very much so. I was kind of confused at first because I felt like I couldn't quite remember from the video games and from the past, like, how he came to be and what his story was. But I liked Idris Elba being him. I think he did a really good job.
And he's supposed to be getting his own, like, movie or show or something. It's already come out that Idris
It's
Elba's
just Knuckles?
supposed... Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot that he was in Echidna. I don't know why. I just thought that he was still was he the right choice though?
Yes.
I think he was.
I think... well, I mean, you could probably go a few different routes with it, but I think you wanted somebody with like
He's got an intimidating voice.
Yeah, who has like a presence or an intimidation factor in their voice or the way that they would speak, but can also play the sort of not really dim-witted, but doesn't quite like pick up on
Again, like a Drax.
Yeah, sort of
Dave,
like
Dave
Drax.
Bautista does a great job with Drax because he is this big powerhouse of a dude, and he's got a deep, intimidating voice, but then he can have these really funny moments in the movies where he's just like things just, not that he'd agree with it because that's his thing, that things don't physically go over his head, but
Yeah.
things go over his head, and that's exactly how I feel like Idris played Knuckles. He was very big. Whenever
What was that part? The tiny magic hedgehog is dead. Now let's go get the other one.
No, I like there was one part where they were like, oh, you don't really seem to understand certain things, like you're not really catching on to this, that, and the other. And he was like, no.
Maybe in Morpheus' voice.
He was like, no, I do catch on to things. I'm just very complex, and some people don't understand that.
Oh, yeah.
Like his little excuse for people not understanding him. But yeah, like Drax, that's the same thing. Drax is, his heart's in the right place, and he's really big and intimidating. But whenever Knuckles walks around, the surround sound of the thuds of his feet in itself are very intimidating. It's like joo joo joo, and then he says something silly like that, like I don't. What is base of the ball?
Yeah, base of the ball. I was just looking, and it's apparently their budget was only $90 million, which is roughly what the budget of the first one was. And the first one, well, it's estimated like 85 to 90 million was their budget in the first one. They made like 320 million or something. I imagine this will do. I would hope just as well. Again, I think it's better.
I think it's better.
I will say, outside of the one part that I pointed out that's maybe like this 20-minute section kind of in the middle that has a decent joke here or there that can get you to laugh but kind of lasts a little bit too long. The movie doesn't necessarily feel too long at 2 hours, but again, that section you could probably cut out 10 minutes of it and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
There's another part to the story that is brought up like 3 times, and it's used as sort of character development and bonding moments and stuff, but it's also very confusing, and that's probably on purpose, I would imagine, or maybe eventually they'll come back to it in like a third movie or something. But the way it stands now, like, it just doesn't seem to make sense for the story. We talked about this. There's like this thing that happened in the past that you see a little bit of in the first movie that just, when the characters talk about it, it's just like, wait, how does that work? That doesn't really make sense. Or it's like you want a little extra you know, like maybe a flash, even though none of the characters would have been there, so flashback scene wouldn't really make too much sense. But some sort of explanation to what exactly happened, because it's brought up again 2-3 times, and it's just when you actually think about it, you're like, how does that?
They should have trimmed the fat in one area and then replaced it in another area. I think.
I don't know.
I think that would have balanced it out a little bit.
I don't know. Again, it was a lot of fun. I guess you can rate it now.
I'm going to go, and it's getting extra points because I did go into it thinking that I was not going to like it, and I'd be like, "Ha! I told you I'm not going to like this," but then I did end up liking it. So I'm going to give it 7 out of 10 rings.
7 out of 10 rings.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I do think I liked it more than the first one.
Yeah.
I had more fun with it than the first one. I feel like a lot of that is probably because it dealt less with like the human bonding aspect, though some of that was still there. And outside of the flaws, like the actual issues with the movie itself, whereas the first movie felt maybe like a little tighter of a story wise, and this one has a few parts that could have been cut or fleshed out a little bit more or something. It's still way more fun, and honestly, just for them animating and letting Ben Schwartz go, the line is like, we're not watching, what was it? We're not watching.
There was a song.
No, it's a movie. It's
oh yeah, that's right.
Shoot, what movie is it? It's a dog movie. It's about sled dogs or snow dogs or something.
Oh yeah,
it's some stupid movie, but he's like, we're not watching that movie because it is the worst. And just animating Sonic to do the John Ralphio thing and letting Ben Schwartz do that, like that's.
He was asking the dog what movie
so
he
good.
wanted to watch next, and he was like,
Yeah,
"We can watch whatever you want to watch, but we're not going to watch that because it's
that
the
movie is the
worst."
Just animating that alone was worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Although we didn't technically pay anything. But no, I agree with you. I think I gave the first one a 6. I think this one's better, but still not like amazing. So I agree with a 7 out of 10. Thank you, Keith.
Some fries.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Some fries. Motherfucker.
Yeah, I think 7 out of 10. I think it's fun. I think they had way more fun with it. Sonic Tails, Knuckles all work really well together. Jim Carrey's still killing it the whole time. Some of the side characters get a lot of. I don't particularly like the deputy sheriff guy in the town. Like he's like the kid movie dumb character. Like he's how is this adult functioning and having a job kind of dumb?
He, like, the way that he talked and the way that he acted, he reminded me of that, I can't remember that comedian's name. What's the guy that's the bartender and the friend from Deadpool? He's a comedian.
T.J. Miller?
He reminded me a little bit of T.J. Miller. I don't know how, I don't know why.
I could see T.J. Miller playing that role.
Yeah.
He's too dumb, but he's like the kids movie. Kids are gonna laugh at how dumb this guy is because he's like a cop and he's got a little light on his head thing. Hey, Keith, thanks for gifting us to Nacho. One of us, welcome in. Enjoy all those emotes, Nacho. Thank you again, Keith. And then other side characters, I think James Marsden, I think, is fine. The wife is fine. They're basically the same characters they were from the movie. They don't do anything exceptionally amazing or anything in this movie. The standout was really the sister with that whole section of at the wedding or whatever.
And I don't remember who the guy is that she. I know that he's from like CSI something or SVU.
Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds. That's it.
Shemar Moore.
Yeah.
Shemar Moore.
Every time I'm over at my parents' house, they're watching that show, and he's always there.
Yeah, he looked super familiar, but I've never watched any of those shows, so I was like, I know him from some cop show or something.
The second that I saw that that's who that character was, I knew that he was going to end up having a shirtless scene. And sure enough.
Yeah.
They worked that in there. And
with something like extreme yoga or something?
Extreme yoga. Yeah, it was, which was pretty funny because They put him next to James
All right,
Marsden.
Keith, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your night over
Bye,
there.
Keith.
It's fucking late for you. What are you doing up anyway?
They,
SWAT. Yeah, there you go. He's in SWAT.
and it's funny because James Marsden is in really good shape. Like, he's a really
Which
buff guy, but they put him next to him, and they made him look like...
No. That was 100% a filmmaker trick. When it's at that scene, they kept Marston with a shirt on the whole time to give a slightly baggy shirt, so that you didn't see any muscles.
Yeah, but
And
when he went like this...
that's the thing. It's funnier when he flexes because then you can see his biceps and stuff, and you're like, he's literally as ripped as this dude is, but they gave him a slightly baggy shirt to give the illusion of like he's, you know, just like an average build,
like
schmo Joe.
No,
kinda
you're
guy.
not.
Yeah.
We know what's going on under there.
That I thought was kind of funny.
That
I was
pretty
like,
funny.
come on now. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's.
I think it's
I
worth
think
a
if
watch.
you like the first movie, it's worth going to see, and you'll like this movie. If you didn't ever give the Sonic movie a chance for any reason, I think you should.
As someone that didn't at first,
especially if you're
I
a
agree.
fan of the movie of Sonic, I think outside of like an actual like fully animated movie, I don't think you're gonna ever get a better Sonic movie. So watch the first one and then see this one, or even maybe skip the first one and watch this one. But I think the first one's still worth seeing as well.
I as someone that was insanely skeptical that did not want to see the first one, I take it all back, and I'm glad that I watched the first one, and I'm glad that I watched this one. More so that I watched this one.
Good.
I guess you were right.
I know I was right. With that, just to kind of go over, I mean, we've had a literal packed week of movies this week. Again, next week we're going to be talking about Harry Potter, and we've invited D-Pad along because I know D-Pad's a massive wizard head or Potter head or pot head, whatever you call them. Whatever the fan base is called.
I didn't know they had a thing.
I don't know. They probably do. I don't know.
Potheads.
Why not call them potheads? There's a couple more movies this weekend that we're going to be checking out. Michael Bay's new movie, Ambulance, with Jake Gyllenhaal and the guy who was just in Candyman. I can't remember what his name is.
Maybe we should go back and I can get a second one.
Abdul Mateen the second. Yahya Abdul Mateen the second. I'm butchering that name, but he's a fantastic actor. So I think we both look forward to that one pretty well. I think it looks pretty good. I'm not a massive Michael Bay fan, but the movie itself, like, looks like it's going to be a fun time.
Ooh, there's a new Shudder movie out.
And then the other one that we're really excited about that we're going to go see, the new A24 movie that's out, is Everything Everywhere All at Once with Michelle Yeoh, where she's like in multiple multiverses and something. That movie looks insane.
Yeah.
So we'll be seeing those two, watching the rest of the fucking Harry Potter movies and talking about that all next week. So next week's episode, we're going to be talking about Fantastic Beasts 3, Dumbledore's Secret or Secrets of Dumbledore, whatever it's called, with D-Pad. So that'll be a fun time since she's basically watching the Harry Potter movies for the first time. So we'll get her
You're stinky.
hot takes on all of them. There's Max. He doesn't like being on camera.
No, he doesn't. He's shy.
Somehow he knows without knowing that he's on camera.
He does. He does not want to
Oh,
look.
Max. Do you know you're on camera? Do you know that the people out there can see you?
He's a
No.
later.
So a lot of movies this week. If you want to go out to the theaters to see, you got a video game movie, 2 action-y seeming movies, which are like the big releases this week. Everything Everywhere All at Once, you might have to look around a bit more for.
Yeah, that's a
it
weird
says
one.
that it's limited, but I know it released like a week ago, very, very limited, and now this is like a wider release, and it's playing at our theater that usually doesn't play the super limited stuff, so who knows. But it's gonna be a good weekend for movies, I think.
I think it'll be a good one. And yeah, I've got a new Shudder movie.
And there's a new Shudder movie.
An original Shudder movie.
Is that the one you were telling me about? No, you watched
No, there's
that
a
one
new.
already.
Yeah, I already watched that one. But
She
there's.
got a bad habit of telling me about new movies and then just watching them.
I do. No, but there's one that came out yesterday. I can't remember quite what it's called, but
Well, let's see. I will find out.
the ratings on it are really, really good.
On the website? Cursed Films?
No, but that's a documentary.
Oh, new episodes.
Cursed Films goes over.
See for me?
Yeah, See for Me. That's the new one. Cursed Films goes over movie sets that people said were haunted while they were filming.
See for me on Shudder. A group of thieves break into a luxurious, secluded mansion. Sophie is house sitting. Sophie, a visually impaired former skier, needs to rely on Kelly, an Army veteran living across the country, to help her fight back. What? What is this movie?
It's got
This
4
sounds
out
like-
of 5 skulls.
This sounds like,
Hush.
well, no, Don't Breathe, but instead she's on a she's on a phone call with somebody on the other side of the world.
There's another movie called Hush that I think someone in the comments says
Hush
like
was pretty good.
Hush was really good. Someone says like it's not the most original concept, but it's very well done. Look at all those five skulls.
Yeah, but look, if you're on Shudder and you're reviewing Shudder movies, you've already got a bias, okay? You're already
I don't
biased.
always give 5 skulls. I've given a 1 skull before.
Do you review movies on Shudder?
No.
She does. Okay, that's fine. Well, I'm
Only
sure
in my
we
free
can
time.
Watch this somewhere. Is Summer of '84 new?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh no, I mean they just put it on though.
Interesting. So there you go. There's another movie. You got Shudder. You got See for Me, some weird thriller sounding movie. So plenty of movies everywhere to watch. I'm sure there's other stuff. There's other things that are coming out on Netflix. Dancing on Glass, Metal Lords, and then something on Prime Video, All the Old Knives, which sounds familiar to me. Michelle Williams is in it. Chris Pine, Lawrence Fishburne. Speaking of Lawrence Fishburne, Keith.
There you go.
So there you go. There's the Lawrence Fishburne movie. There's a lot of movies always every week to watch. And again, we'll be back next week with 11 Harry Potter
A
movies.
shit
to talk
ton of
about.
Harry Potter.
Can't wait for D-Pad to tell us about how much he loves Half-Blood Prince, and then me to go, that movie fucking sucks.
Watch me go from like when we first started this, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this stuff means. I don't understand Harry Potter. And then we do the stream, and I've got like the scarf, I've got like a beanie, I've got the outfit.
D-Pad already said it. He's like, oh, I should bring all my wands. I would actually not be surprised if he did have like a Gryffindor scarf, or I'm pretty sure he has a t-shirt that I've seen. I feel like he's got a t-shirt which is like a shield crest thing with all of the houses on it. I think.
I'm just a little
I
mad at
feel like I've
myself
seen that
now
before.
because I had the opportunity when I lived in England and I went to the castle where they shot the stuff and they had a little gift shop where they sold wands and they sold brooms and they sold all kinds of things, and I was like,
You know, we could buy you a broom at like Walmart.
it's not the same
Why not?
because theirs are like crooked.
I mean, you could like probably curve one of those, bend them or something.
I mean, if you're giving me permission to get one of those weird brooms, then I will take it.
Weird brooms. I don't know what that means.
They go.
I don't know what that means. It's not a magic one. What's the difference? Those
it
ones
goes
aren't
like- it
magic
goes
either.
like this.
They're just straw. They're just like straw tied on a string. To
Yeah,
a
but they
stick.
go like that. It's
They go like
different.
this.
I should have bought one when I was in England.
You
They were probably like $50.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
We'll make it magic. I'll sprinkle pixie dust on it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. Isn't that how you make magic?
Yeah.
I'll say Wingardium Leviosa, and then it'll all fly away.
Leviosa.
Leviosa.
Yeah. I'm excited for the next one. I really did.
It's all
enjoy it.
downhill from here.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know. Yeah. That's right. I'm a fucking muggle. Get that shit out of here. I'm like the uncle. Don't you use your magic. I'll put you back under the stairs.
You are. Exactly. Calling my crystals rocks.
They are rocks.
They had a little magic ball thingy.
Mm-hmm.
Got one of those. It's a Halloween decoration, but I've got it out still.
You're gonna have a field day decorating things next week. I can feel with all your
I'm going to have so much
juju
fucking
and
fun.
You got your animals here that
Yeah, my
are probably
familiar-
actually people.
My familiar, my black cat. If you moved, someone could see that. Yeah,
Her right
She's
there.
my-
She's not dead, I promise.
she's my familiar. She's like, what the fuck? What do you want?
Anyway.
She's food motivated. If you don't have anything to give her, she really doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. She likes to chow down, is what she does.
Until she pukes.
Until she, yes. That's,
Which was this morning.
I'm not surprised.
Almost stepped in it.
Gross. Anyway, I think it was a relatively short one. We didn't
Yeah.
really have much to talk about. There's just the Sonic movies in general, basically. Again, we enjoyed it. If you like the first one, I think you'll like the second one even more. You know, you don't take it too seriously, and you just have fun with it, and it's a fun time. So, we've got a...
You didn't rate it.
I did.
Oh,
I
yeah,
agree.
you
I
did.
said-
You,
a
you
7 out of
said
10.
7. Okay.
I think it's better than the first one, but not by a ton.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
It's a fun time. Nothing crazy. I think currently, out of my rankings, I think it's like 12 out of 20 something movies.
Yeah.
It's like right in the middle. Although I almost put it lower, but then I was like, well, I guess I kind of had more fun with it than I did Moonfall. And then I put it over the House
Oh.
movie that was on Netflix, the weird
Yeah.
stop motion one.
Oh, yeah.
But then that's where it sits. So it didn't quite break the top 10, but it never would have at a 3.5 stars. It was never going to be in the top 10 to like by the end of the year anyway. It's not going to blow your mind away, but there we go. That's Sonic 2. That's the thing. It was a fun time. We had fun. There's a little tail toy. Thank you for coming in, Keith. Olog, Keith for the bits, the sound alerts, Keith for the gifted sub to Nacho. Nacho D-pad, Keith, Olog, Ghost. Thank you for coming by, chatting,
you.
hanging out for a little bit while we talked about movies. I want to get this thing framed.
I was
and
just about to
actually
say that.
put this somewhere because this is quite literally probably the coolest little promotional.
And it does say 2022 limited edition. I want to go back and get a second one. Do you think they'd let me? If I show that I went and I got the ticket?
I don't know
If they've still got
if
me
they still
left?
had some, maybe.
I think I might give that a try.
So that poster's cool. Ghost, thank you for the sub. 23 months. Oh, 1 month away from 2 whole years. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy. But we'll leave it there. I guess we'll hit the we'll hit the ending thing wherever it's at, and then we'll see everybody next week, or who knows, next week probably. We didn't do last week.
Yeah.
Oh, we should probably address that. We didn't do one last week because first off, I wasn't feeling great Friday, so we just skipped it. But also, we saw Morbius, and Morbius sucked ass. Morbius was terrible. Morbius is the worst movie I've seen this year, and that's saying something because the movie The Cursed
Oh, yeah.
was like really slow and really boring and really bad, but Morbius was worse.
Yeah.
More like we would have just it would have been me complaining for like an hour that how bad Morbius was. So don't waste your money on Morbius. That's the lesson. Don't even bother. If you want to see it, pirate it or wait till it streams somewhere.
I didn't care for it, but I also went to get a very long, relaxing pedicure beforehand and had a glass of wine and then a drink during the movie. And then when
And
we
then
left,
almost fell down the
I
stairs.
almost fell down the fucking stairs and bruised my leg.
So she doesn't even remember what happened in the movie.
I do remember.
Mm-hmm.
I was more so focused on, oh my god, the lady that almost head first down the stairs. So, and then that guy was like, "Are you okay?"
You did that 2 weeks in a row.
No, it didn't. Fall?
Nearly? Uh-huh. When we were leaving John Mulaney?
That was different.
Uh-huh.
That was different.
Uh-huh.
That was different.
Anyway, we're going to have an intervention, so we'll see everybody sober next week.